facing the police every single day.
Guess I'm the best you can do, huh?
I can do better. I just settle for less.
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Are you the assistant state attorney?
I am the assistant state attorney, yes.
Alright, ma'am. Well, what's going on? How can I help you?
For some reason there's kickback coming when I'm talking. Are you recording or is there something going on there?
Oh, I'm just talking to you on speakerphone.
Okay. Alright, and just so you know, I do have another ASA and some advocates present so they can hear the conversation.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you about this. This defendant is Fred Robinson.
I'm sorry, ma'am. His name is Fred Robinson? Robinson? Okay.
Yes. And I just kind of wanted to go through, I just went through the documents we had and everything. I wanted to go through what happened on this day with you. So it looks like it happened on January 6th. Does that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were out at the jail with a sign and videoing when the defendant came out, didn't like your sign, and pushed you?
Yeah, he took several strikes at me, and then he punched me in the arm, and he said there was a bug on my arm and something like that. And then he went inside of the jail to ask for a deputy. And while he was doing that, I was also filming him, and he came up and then struck me several more times.
Oh, I think your phone might have just cut out. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening, ma'am.
Oh. Okay, try it one more time.
Okay, well, did you get anything of what I said, or?
I got the first part about he struck you several times, and up until the point where he went inside, it sounded like?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I was out in front of the jail by the visitation, and we had that first confrontation where he struck me several times.
Okay. And when you say struck you, was it with an open hand, closed hand? Did he just push you?
The first time he shoved me and then tried to grab my sign and throw it out of the way. And then he punched me in my arm and said that there was a bug there.
Okay.
Were you able to watch any of the videos I provided to the sheriff's office?
I haven't gotten those videos yet, so I haven't had the chance to watch them.
Oh, okay. Well, just so you know, there is a video of the incident on my YouTube channel if for some reason you can't get a hold of it.
Oh, okay. Well, as soon as I get them, I will definitely be reviewing them, obviously, and everything like that. I think there was just an issue with the size of it. But I will definitely look into that. So the first confrontation you had, he shoves you, tries to grab and throw your sign, and then ends up punching you in the arm saying it's a bug.
Yeah, he's like, I was like, you just punched me in the arm. He's like, there was a bug there, or something like that. Oh, and then he walked out in the parking lot, and I was filming him from a distance, and then he said, quote, "I'm gonna get a fucking hammer out of my car, and I'm gonna hit you in the head with it." And then he was all like, "Well, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a deputy, and I'm gonna have you arrested and la la." And then he
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then I was following him as he went inside of the building, and I was like, "Hey man, you shouldn't go in there and tell them what you did. You're gonna get in trouble." And he was still yelling obscenities and doing his thing. And then he went in there and he was talking to the lady that he wants a deputy. He wants to have me arrested because I filmed him and all this stuff. And then when he turns around, he realized I was still filming him. And then he came up and then struck me several times, punched me in the stomach, and was yelling obscenities. And then he ran inside of the bathroom, and then that's when the deputies came.
So I just wanted to clarify a couple things. So when he makes the threat about the hammer, you said he's walking out towards the parking lot. Is he going to his car?
Yeah. He was going to his car, and this is after he first battered me.
Okay. Okay, and he gets to his car, or he doesn't get there, and he just decides he's going to go get a deputy?
He got just about to his car, and then he's like, I'm going to get a deputy. This is bullshit. Something like that. And he's like, you're going to be arrested.
Okay. And then he's the one that actually went and got a deputy. You didn't call for one or anything?
Yeah, I didn't call for one. But in fact, I told him, I said, listen, man, you shouldn't go to cops telling them you just assaulted people and then threatened them. You know, they kind of make a big deal out of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then, once he goes and tries to get an officer, that's when somebody reports out.
I'm sorry, ma'am, that's been what?
I said, is that when somebody, like, showed up, or?
Yeah. After he assaulted me the second time, and then he ran inside of the bathroom, it wasn't even but like 20, 30 seconds, and there was a deputy coming through the front door.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then I'm just going to have you go with me back through, sorry, I just want to make sure I have the timeline right. You have the first assault, and he threatens you about getting the hammer, goes out, towards his car, then he says he's going to go inside to get the deputy, goes inside, and that's where you have the second assault, or is it?
Yeah, it was inside of the building, and actually the lady in the window, the sheriff's office personnel lady, whoever she was, I didn't get her name, but she witnessed the second assault. Also, I believe that this the guy from G4S who was at the visitation also witnessed the first assault because he was watching through the glass also.
Okay. And then the second incident happens, and then he ends up going into the bathroom until the police come, correct?
Yeah, he was hiding in there. It was very strange.
Okay. And where were you when that was happening?
Oh, I was outside, and then the deputies came up, you know, asking me all these strange questions, like they were gonna have me Baker acted basically, and it was very strange. And then they trespassed me for being there because they said I used fighting words, and then they weren't gonna trespass him until I said, well, you know, first number, you know, on that trespass is that if you commit any kind of crime and they got a county facility, they trespass you. And then then I guess they went and trespassed him, and then they gave him like a notice to appear for battery, which I didn't understand because usually when you get arrested for battery, you know, it's like a no bond charge.
Well, it actually depends on a number of factors, but I believe it probably had to do with the fact that he had no criminal history and a number of factors that the officers evaluated. But obviously, I can't speak for them.
I feel like they put me in a position of danger because no contact order was issued or anything like that. You know, I didn't have any notice from Vine or any of those other things.
Yeah, I completely understand. Well, okay, so I definitely do want to talk to you about how this works and going forward. So he is scheduled for an arraignment next week, which means he'll enter a plea to the charge, whether it's not guilty or he'll actually plead to the charge. And I kind of want to discuss possible resolutions with you.
Okay.
So, after reviewing, what I have and his criminal history and just the facts surrounding the case and everything like that, I do believe that this would be an ideal situation for a diversion program.
Oh.
But again, that's going to be something that I want to talk to you about and get what you want to see happen with the case and see where you're at with that.
Okay, so you want to know what I want out of the case?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think I would like to see 11 months and 29 days county jail and the maximum fine like allowable by law.
Okay, given his history and the facts surrounding the case, I'm going to say that that's probably not going to happen, just given the judge and everything like that. But is there something in particular that leads you to want that, I guess, is my question.
Well, ma'am, he like I said, he did attack me twice, and then he threatened to commit a felony against me. I mean, I really don't have any sympathy for him, ma'am.
I understand that.
And you know, also, I think it's very ridiculous that first off, he wasn't even like arrested. Second off, you want to give him a diversion program so they drop the charges when this is battery. And you know, I see people doing like 90 days for a drug paraphernalia. You know, I mean.
Again, every case is different, and every person is different based on a number of different factors. So we have to take everything into consideration. But that is why I'm asking what you would like to see happen.
Oh, well, I already stated, ma'am, I want to see 11 months, 29 days, county jail, and the maximum fine permitted by law.
Okay. I just want to be clear that that's probably not going to happen. You understand that?
But, ma'am, I don't understand how, with nonviolent crimes, like, actually, your same office was the one that recommended an incarceratory sentence for me for indirect a contempt of court for filming a deputy at the courthouse. I don't see how you wouldn't offer him jail for actually assaulting and threatening to commit a felony against someone, ma'am.
I unfortunately can't speak to that. I'm just here to talk about your case, or the case that you're a victim in.
I know.
So the facts and circumstances surrounding those events don't apply here, unfortunately. So that's why I need to make an offer based on what's appropriate, as well as taking into consideration the facts and circumstances of our case, the law, as well as any other circumstances, so defendant's history, anything like that.
Oh.
So, but would you be comfortable with a no contact order? You mentioned that before. You want a no contact order in place?
Well, yeah, but that should have been in place since day one. I don't understand why that's coming around here, getting on 2 months later.
Yeah, I understand. Unfortunately, that's a court-ordered, the no contact order are ordered by the court. So we just received the case files as they are.
In fact, ma'am, I find this whole experience strange because, I happen to have been accused of battery once, and, so I have some experience with it, and I'm just not understanding why his case is so different.
Well, I can only tell you what I have, what information I have.
They didn't offer me diversion. They wanted me to do 12 months probation and do a battery intervention course and pay all this money to the Rape Crisis Trust Fund and then pay a big fine and then do 100 hours of community service, and that's what the state was talking. And then if I didn't do that, they were going to put me in jail for 4 months.
Well, that's based on the facts of that case. So like I said, I can't.
It was a misdemeanor battery, ma'am, just like his. I don't understand why he's getting off so light.
I understand, but it all depends on the facts and circumstances and the evidence in each individual case. I can't go, it's a case-by-case basis. It's not, that's how they're evaluated. It's not as a whole.
Oh.
So,
see, what happened in my case was a man at Walmart, the manager said I shoved him. I didn't even threaten to go hit him in the head with a hammer or even strike him a second time, in the same instance or none of that stuff. He just said that I shoved him, and they said that was battery.
Okay. Well, the other thing that you could do with the no contact is you could go file civilly for a injunction.
Yeah, but there has to be 2 prior instances of violence. I guess I might be able to convince the judge that the 2 incidents that day would be enough, but I think they might consider it the same incident.
Okay. I can't advise on that, but that would be something I would look into if you were concerned.
Oh.
I could do a motion to have a no contact order put in place now if that's what, if that's something that you're interested in.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Okay. All right. I'm just writing myself a note. Okay, so basically I'm going to go back through the case and evaluate everything, make a filing decision on it, and then extend a plea offer.
For what, like breach of peace?
No, not necessarily. It just all depends on the case when I go through it and make sure I, evaluate everything. But what I was thinking would be either the diversion program or it would be a term of probation. It would have
Reporting probation?
Yes, it would be reporting probation.
Okay.
As well as the no contact order. There would be community service hours. There'd be either a batter's intervention or an anger management course. It'd be an anger management course because it's not a domestic violence situation. There'd be fines and the statutory fines and, cost of court, cost of prosecution. There'd be the statutory fines to the trust funds. So I believe it's 151 and 201 to the respective trust funds. Does that sound appropriate to you?
Would you adjudicate him guilty, or would it be a withhold?
It would probably be a withhold because he has no priors at all.
Ma'am, I would have to insist on an adjudication of guilt.
Okay. All right.
And also, I understand, the state needs to be able to make a plea with him to avoid the expense of a trial. So, in lieu of the 11 months and 29 days, I was saying, if you could get him to agree to a plea bargain for breach of peace, I would be satisfied with 60 days county jail.
Okay, that's most likely not going to happen, just to be clear.
Okay. I don't understand why it won't happen. And ma'am, I happen to know a personal friend of mine, Rodney McGee. He was actually just sentenced by your office to a full 60 days in jail for breach of peace. I don't understand why it's so different with other people.
Do you understand? What is his prior record? Does he have an extensive history?
I mean, he's had a few go-arounds with Charlotte County.
Okay, then that's probably, honestly, why he got that type of a sentence or was offered that type of an offer.
Well, then how would 45 days county jail sound?
He has absolutely no history. It's highly unlikely. And it's also just to explain it a little bit, I just want you to keep in mind that it's up to the state attorney's office to determine what's appropriate in a plea offer.
Mm-hmm.
I do obviously want your input on it, but you have a right to be there if you don't agree, or if you do agree, you have a right to be present if you're going to take a plea.
Oh, yes, ma'am, and I would like to give a victim impact statement. What Mr. Robinson did was very traumatizing to me, and he did it basically because I was exercising First Amendment rights, and then it also led to me being trespassed permanently from a county facility, and I can never go back there again because of Mr. Robinson. So what he's done has really deeply affected me. And also deputies tried to have me committed and other things because of his actions. It was...
On this particular incident?
Yeah, because they came there trying to see if I needed to be Baker acted and whatnot, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Were you ever taking a Charlotte behavioral act?
No, ma'am. I think the deputies were just being smartasses, but... like I said, Mr. Robinson's actions, put me in some very unusual circumstances and caused me emotional distress.
Okay. Well, I will definitely make a note that you want to be present for plea and sentencing. So, and when it goes before the court, then you'd be able to give a statement and talk to the court about it. So that's definitely something I will put a note in for. Do you have any other questions for me right now?
Yes, ma'am. What's a good phone number I could reach you at?
It's 941-637-2104.
And I should ask for Mrs.
You could ask for me, you could ask for Sarah Schmidt, or you could ask for a victim advocate.
Okay, and they're all familiar with the aspects of the case?
They are familiar with the cases. They're going... I'm the only attorney, though, that you would need to speak with, so it just depends on what's going to be available. So either way, if I don't answer, you leave me a voicemail, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, you know, and yeah.
Okay, all right, ma'am. Well, you know, I really appreciate your phone call and your time.
No problem. Have a good day.
All right. You see what happens when you put everybody through the system? They start to learn the law. That lady didn't know what the fuck, man. She thought she was gonna get me to agree to any old fucking plea.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH. I am using any video here with under fair use if you have criticism, reporting, teaching, etc. And please donate. I do not make money from YouTube, and there are different ways to donate in the video links. Thanks.